it back a little bit so you can see me. Okay. As you can see by the title, today's video is going to be the books I read in February. I only read 3, and I only have 2 physical copies because the other one I got from the library. So, first book I read was the first book in the off-campus series, The Deal. And then the second book I read was The Mistake, which was no, this wasn't the second book. This was the third book I read, but it's also in the same series. And my Chipotle is on its way to me. Sorry, I just got a notification my Chipotle is on its way to me. But anyways, the second book I read, I'll try to pop a picture up if I can. But it was called River Woman, River Demon. I'm going to read the summaries of what the books were about to y'all and let y'all know what I rated them. But I'm not going to get into detail because I'm one of those people who reads a book, loves it, and cannot, for the love of me, describe it to you. So, yeah. Hold on. These are my pants from the Fashion Nova haul. And they're so cute and comfortable. Okay, so the first book I'm obviously going to tell you about is The Deal. I gave this book, I think I gave it 5 stars. I think I gave it 5 stars. If not, it was 4. Okay, so let's look on my Goodreads because I actually don't know what I gave this book. But I think it was 5 stars. Yeah, okay, so I gave this book 5 stars. I gave this book 5 stars, and it's basically, to summarize it, says Hannah Wells has finally found someone who turns her on, but while she might be confident in every other area of her life, she's carting around a full set of baggage when it comes to sex and seduction. If she wants to get her crush's attention, she'll have to step out of her comfort zone and make him take notice. Sorry, I'm hungry. Even if it means tutoring the annoying childish captain of the hockey team in exchange for a pretend date. I don't want to smack, so I was trying to eat that before. Okay. All Garrett Graham has ever wanted is to play professional hockey after graduation, but his plummeting GPA is threatening everything he's worked so hard for. If helping a sarcastic brunette make another guy jealous will lift his grades and secure his position on the team, he's all for it. But when one unexpected kiss leads to the wildest sex of both of their lives, it doesn't take long for Garrett to realize that pretend isn't going to cut it. Now he just has to convince Hannah that the man she wants looks a lot like him. So this is like a friends to lovers, I guess you could say that, because they do become friends and then they become boyfriend and girlfriend. But the way that it all unfolds and the story that's told from both of their, it's like a dual POV. Okay. Dual POV. And I loved it. Second book was obviously River Woman, River Demon. Why can't I talk today? Second book was River Woman, River Demon by Jennifer Givens. I gave that 5 stars too. And the summary says, when Ava's husband is arrested for the murder of a friend, she must confront her murky past and embrace her magic to find out what really happened that night on the river. Eva Santos Moon is a burgeoning Chicana artist who practices the ancient spiritual ways of brew, of which it's like witchcraft, kind of. I mispronounce words all the time, so if I mispronounce it, don't come for me. I told y'all already. Brujeria and curanderismo, I think is what it says. I don't know. But she's at one of her lowest points, suffering from disorienting blackouts, creative stagnation, and a feeling of disconnect from her magical roots. When her husband, a beloved university professor and the glue that holds their families together, is taken into custody for the shocking murder of their friend, Eva doesn't know whom to trust, least of all herself. She soon falls under suspicion as a potential suspect, and her past rises to the surface. Dredging up the truth about an eerily similar death from her childhood, struggling with fragmented memories and self-doubt, an increasingly terrified Eva fears that she might have been involved in both murders, but why doesn't she remember? Only the dead women know for sure, and they're coming for her with a haunting vengeance. As she fights to keep her family out of danger, Eva realizes she must use her magic as a bruja to protect herself and her loved ones while confronting her own dark history. Sorry, I'm still congested. A psychological thriller that weaves together threads of folk magic with personal and cultural empowerment. River Woman, River Demon is a mysterious incantation of reckoning with the past and claiming one's unique power and voice. When I say this book had me guessing every freaking chapter, I thought I knew, then it was like, boop, throw in another thing to throw you off, and boop, throw in another one and be like, girl, how did you miss that from the beginning? I don't know. It was such a good book, and if you haven't read it, I would suggest you read it. Like, I don't do witchcraft, or I don't really believe in that. I won't say I don't believe in it, but I will say that I don't practice that, and that's not what I do at all. But it was a really good book. And it says my delivery is arriving. Yes, I do have 2 more videos to film, so yeah. And then the last book I also gave a 5-star rating was The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, which is the 2nd book in the Off-Campus series. And I'm probably gonna read the thing off here and not read it from the back of the book because oh, it's the same thing, but still. Okay, so it says, he's a player in more ways than one. College junior John Logan can get any girl he wants, for this hockey star life is a parade of parties and hookups. But behind his killer grins and easygoing charm, he hides growing despair about the dead-end road he'll be forced to walk after graduation. A sexy encounter with freshman Grace Ivers is just the distraction he needs. But when a thoughtless mistake pushes her away, Logan plans to spend his final year proving to her that he's worth a second chance. Now he's going to need to up his game. After a less than stellar freshman year, Grace is back at Brandi University, older, wiser, and so over the arrogant hockey player she nearly handed her V card to. She's not a charity case, and she's not the quiet butterfly she was when they first hooked up. If Logan expects her to roll over and beg like all his other puck bunnies, he can think again. He wants her back, he'll have to work for it. This time around, she'll be the one in the driver's seat, and she plans on driving him wild. Let me just say, I love this book. I don't care what nobody says. They're not childish to me. Like, in my opinion, they're not childish. They're very good books. For the most part, I know people love them, but in my book groups, I've seen a few people say that they hate them, that they were too childish, and that, like, it was predictable. But I love this. They went from hooking up to almost having sex. Well, penetrated. I'm sorry for all the children who are watching this. I'm going to make this an age restriction video. They went from exchanging oral sex to penetrative sex to almost having penetrative sex to not talking to each other for a whole last semester, then the summer. And then now they're in their 2nd semester, and now they're in their, well, not 2nd semester, but is it their second semester or second year? Yeah, she becomes a sophomore, he becomes a senior. So it's a little bit of an age gap, but it's an age gap that's acceptable in my opinion. I can't do that 30-year difference. That's just too much for me. But either way, I love these books. I only read 3 this month. My goal, which actually you'll see in my next video, if I'm wearing the same thing, that's why, because I'm filming like 3 or 4 videos today. But my TBR is always like kind of hefty, but with it being Lent season and I work at a fish restaurant, it's kind of hard to read when I'm at work day in and day out. But today I do have an off day, so hopefully I get to read more of my book, which I have been. Also, if you guys watch Outer Banks, how do we feel about the ending? Because I'm already done. How do we feel about the ending? Because I was not impressed by the ending. I like the rest of the season, but the ending, I'm mad it ended how it did. It always ends on a cliffhanger, of course, but I'm mad it ended how it did. I'm mad that they skipped almost a year. Well, they skipped 1.5 years and then showed us them. No, I needed more than that. So hopefully next season they give us more. But it's fine. That's not the point of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you're looking for some new books to read, these were great, especially if you like series. These are like hockey romances. I'm not really into hockey, but the romance, I loved it. And yeah, see you guys in my next video.